Welcome back to the City Ramble. Joining me, Amos Murphy, Matt Kerr, and Andrew Detmer. Welcome back to me as well. Actually, I've been away on holiday for the first part of this month, hence why Adam and co were holding down the fort at the start of last week. And much like Aveline, I did go to Spain and have a good time. Matt Kerr, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. I've just realised in the corner you can see an ironing board. Guess what I've been up to moments before this, but other than that, I'm all good.
Ironing for anything special? I mean, I will happily say on record, I think ironing is a sham. I think there are 95% of situations in life where I will just refuse to ever iron.
Yeah, well, sadly, it's for work in a couple of days. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get out of the way. Sunday evening, iron a few shirts. But normally I'm the type of guy that just hangs it up, lets the creases all fall out. But yeah,
organised.
Sunday night, chucking it down outside. Yeah, we'll get organised.
I know, yeah. I've come back into a bit of a monsoon. Andrew, you strike me as the sort of person who irons everything, including the underpants.
That is rude and uncalled for. I don't iron, mainly as I own all of my dress shirts for work are Brooks Brothers, like wrinkle resistant, so they don't really wrinkle. I have a steamer, so I just give them a quick steam after I put them on the hanger and good to go. And then suits get dry cleaned, so I don't really do much ironing.
Humble brag.
You can't be ironing or washing your they're technical pieces that you would mess up if you actually tried to do any of that yourself. So
fair play. You are a much more sophisticated fellow than me, but you will be the one sort of feeling the wrath during today's episode, because long-time listeners to the City Ramble will be well aware of this concept. I mean, long-time listeners to wherever we have nabbed this from will be well aware, because, you know, much like a lot of things on this show, this is not an original. But Defend the Indefensible is really simple. I'm going to give both our contributors a topic, a sentence, a statement, and I'm going to ask one of them to defend it, one of them to argue against it, so to speak. It will come as no surprise that the one arguing against it has the easier job, because these are, you know, somewhat controversial takes, although some, you might say, go both ways, and, you know, we'll see. We'll get into it. I think that's all the introduction. I think it clears it up quite nicely. I'm going to stick a minute on my clock for each person. You don't have to use the full time, but you can't go over it. In the past, we've done this for points, and I don't know, I've always felt sort of necessary to give the person who's defending the indefensible the points. So I'm going to scrap the points. I'm just going to do it for pleasure and my sort of
I think the way to do it is not, Amos, you give the points, but rather, once the episode has been released, it's in kind of the audience's hands. We could throw up polls to see who does the audience believe won each, topic.
We go.
That's a good shout. That's
That's a great way to get some audience engagement, Andrew. Thank you. You can come again. So, as you know, as reward, I guess, or just complete coincidence, it is certainly the latter. Matt, you're going to have to defend the Indefensible to begin with. I'm going to give you a little bit of a helping hand. I'm going to say that Andrew goes first for this one, and that'll be the case throughout the entire episode. We've got 5 categories. We've got 5 statements, so it should get spicy. The first one. Manchester City should completely forget their local support and entirely focus their attention on fans from outside the UK. I can already see a few smiles. Locals should be in the minority, if not invisible altogether, during match days at the Etihad Stadium. So, Matt, you can have a bit of time to tell me why you believe that statement to be true. Andrew, you've got 60 seconds there or thereabouts to... I imagine this isn't going to be difficult. Tell us why, in fact, Manchester City should not abandon their local support. Off you go.
Well, first of all...
go on. Sorry, Andrew.
First of all...
He's that eager to tell everyone why the locals can piss off. He's already jumped in early.
But what I'll say is, first, this sport has its roots in working class culture and representation of not even just towns, but neighborhoods and incredibly tight-knit areas where you were born defines who you support. So the fabric of the game is reliant upon these ties to locality. Additionally, good times come and go. We live in the good times of City now, but the bad times will come. And in the bad times, you need those local fans to fill the stands and support the team. Even more so, the atmosphere is entirely reliant on local fans who have had songs and the tradition of supporter culture passed down from father to son to grandson. So if we lose that, we lose far more than just a revenue stream. We lose the lifeblood of the club.
Nicely done, nicely done. I'd say that's a nice one for you to get off the mark with, Andrew. Nothing too, strenuous on that front. Matt, the smirk is unable to hide itself, both from your face, which I suppose is more of a grimace, but certainly from mine, as I eagerly await your 60 seconds. Tell us why Manchester City should completely forget their local support, entirely focus our attention on fans from outside the UK. Locals should be in the minority and possibly even invisible from match days at the Etihad.
Well, I've got to grin, first of all, because I can't believe the stuff Andrew's saying. It's absolutely ridiculous. While Man City are on top, we need to take advantage. We need to capitalise, get in the money, get in the tourists. Tourists is what makes a big club big. And that's what City need to carry on doing. Keep them in. Get the selfie sticks through the concourse. Get them in. That's all we need. That's all we need.
And you only needed 25 seconds, such was your...
That's all I need.
Steadfast argument as to why.
I will say, Amos, I appreciate that you've ensured that my plan to run for mayor of Manchester can indeed go forward, but Matt's entire career in local politics in Manchester is just gone.
Well, not even that. Even on the fan media scene, I'm sure Sky Sports News watchers would have seen Matt's face pop up every now and again over the last few weeks. Well, that's the last time, I'm afraid, Matt. You've... how difficult was that, do you think? This is your first time that you've done this, possibly even the first time Andrew's done this game as well. And I think until you sort of put in that situation, it's some thrive. Don't get me wrong. We will see how evil you guys are today. But did you find it easy or hard?
No, that was very tough. I was fighting against my moral compass completely there. All my core beliefs just got thrown out the window in 25 seconds, whatever it was. So I feel awful. Just so everyone listening, I do not believe any of that. Just to clarify,
I would love to know if there is anyone who actually truly believes that isn't just like an online I have a hard time imagining you can have that idea or that cult kind of philosophy if you attend sporting matches in person.
Yeah,
of any not just football, but I think if you attend anything in person, I would struggle to believe that anyone could have that opinion. But Twitter virgins who watch everything online, I can see that, because they're not the ones paying ticket prices. They're not the ones that they don't understand that the atmosphere actually is affected by the types of people that are in the stadium.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ultimately, it's
totally agree.
Them type of people are just probably going to be business folk or quite well off people. Like you say, it doesn't really matter to them how much it costs to go to games and everything. They're probably get the tourists through the door. But
yeah, well, the weird thing about business folks is that a lot of that money is doesn't even have anything to do with being a fan of the club. I know a couple of people that have hospitality packages for their corporations at New White Hart Lane. No one involved at the company is a Spurs fan. It exists solely to entertain clients from out of town. Because it's it is a great stadium. It's a cool event. But they're not adding to the atmosphere. It's like when Wembley matches are held and the first 15 minutes, no one's back in the corporate seats because they're all still enjoying their. I don't know what fancy food is over there for you guys, but.
Whoa!
No. I don't
know what, dig. Whoa!
No. I don't know what the fancy hospitality food would be because I know what an American.
Neither would
American
I,
football.
because the proletariat, will never don the comfy warm seats unless, of course, anybody is offering to take us free of charge. I have long thought actually that I don't think it's long until there is a rule where half time is extended. Because of the obviously, first of all, the hospitality. I hope not. halftime shows and stuff like that. I know we did see an absolute disastrous one at the Club World Cup, and I believe the World Cup final is going to be doing something similar. But Matt, maybe I'm selling myself a little bit here, but queues for pints are quite long at halftime. 25 minutes, I can.
Yeah,
I could take it. I could live with that.
Definitely, I could have a longer half time, but not for any of the entertainment rubbish. You know what I mean? Like for the sake of, like you're saying, get 2 pints in.
I mean, as an American, I think anything but the Super Bowl halftime show is an abomination. Like the Super Bowl halftime show should be the only halftime show.
Did he? I mean, I totally have
events.
no idea about this, but do they do halftime shows at every? I know, obviously, NBA is like razzmatazz extreme, and I guess baseball is because of the pace of play and stuff. But
there's some other things at like Thanksgiving. A couple of those games will have like not Super Bowl halftime show performance, but you might get like an artist who plays like 2 or 3 songs, but like more like a traditional, like just like playing a song, not like all these backup dancers. College football is where the like OG halftime shows happen, which were marching bands. If that's what we were talking about, way more on board with like halftime shows, because those things they're actually really cool. But I don't need like every week Dua Lipa or Sabrina Carpenter or whoever.
Speak for yourself.
No. I love both of those people a lot, but I'm just saying, if every like Premier League match, someone pop stars getting rolled out to do a 20-minute set at halftime, like you would eventually be like, this is ridiculous.
If Dua Lipa is performing at the Etihad every week, my season ticket price can go up however much you want. Mr. Sheikh, there's your money.
You heard it here first.
There you go.
I've got to say though, I absolutely love how they do the halftime shows at the minute. I was thinking before, when they do the Santa Dash at Christmas.
Oh,
they get a couple of bands dressed up as Santa. They got
do that stuff. Like Major League Baseball is the king of that in the States, where you get these like absurd, like, have you guys ever seen where they'll have you put your head on the baseball bat and like bend over and you like spin in a circle and then you have to sprint. Like it's never not funny. Like that stuff. Yeah. Do fan engagement stuff. I'm all for that, of like being a way to like create more entertainment, but none of this like, hey, we're paying some celebrity $1 million to show up and put on a shitty, because they never sound good. I've never met someone who went to like an event. Did they do anything, Amos, at Istanbul like that?
Yeah, it was Burna Boy, I think, and like you say, football stadiums are not built without the added sort of speakers and setup for concerts. They are not built to project performances. The setup isn't there. So these sort of mini shows and concerts just sound horrendous. And even on TV, they're usually spoken over and stuff. It's just an absolute waste of time. Unless, of course, it's Dua Lipa, in which case the Etihad Stadium doors are open. Matt, I'm going to cut this little sort of handbrake turn off a little bit. I'm going to go straight back to the Defend the Indefensible. And this, I said it might get easy for you, but given your opinions that you've shared on this show, perhaps not. Andrew, you're going to be defending this after Matt has gone in a moment's time. James Trafford will have a more successful career at Manchester City than Gigi Donnarumma. Now, Matt, you were a Donnarumma denier when he was coming through the door. He's obviously, I've seen you sort of say he's a City player now, so you're going to throw your weight behind him, blah, blah, blah. You're going to tell me why Gigi Donnarumma is actually going to outlast perhaps James Trafford, but certainly have a more successful career at the club.
Not a problem. It's very, very, very easy for me. You've got a goalkeeper who's just come in the door, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world on paper. He's just won a treble, just won the Champions League. He won the Euros a couple of years ago. He is unbelievable, and we've got him at our club now. And you think, no offence to James Trafford, some guy that was playing at Burnley last season is going to put him out the team. I don't think so. I think Donnarumma walks straight into that team, and I think it's going to be very, very tough for Trafford to get a sniff now, unless it's a League Cup or FA Cup fixture. Done.
There you go. There you go, James. Pack your bags already. You've got no chance. Andrew, you're gonna tell us the opposite. James Trafford, the likely lad, I guess, coming in from Burnley, just promoted. Gigi Donnarumma, similar price. In fact, I think it probably worked out cheaper in the end. Obviously, circumstance, market opportunity, etc., etc. Gigi Donnarumma is going to flop at City, though. James Trafford is going to be the success. Why will that be?
I don't even have to argue that Gigi Donnarumma, who I think is a great keeper, is going to be is going to be a flop, because that's not why James Trafford is going to go on to have a more successful career with City. Because even if Gigi Donnarumma performs well at City, and I think he will, he is a fiery Italian man who has not lasted more than a couple of years at any club. There is no world where Gigi Donnarumma stays and succeeds at City, because I don't care who the next manager is, that he can't last. He won't last. Italians famously, I mean, Roberto Mancini, we loved the man. He was insane. Donnarumma will eventually piss off enough people, or just be like, you know what, I want something new, and take off. And if he lasts the amount of time that he kind of seems to be lasting at other clubs, we're talking about a James Trafford who's still only going to be 26 years old and could then go on for another 8, even 10 years and have an incredible career with his boyhood club.
Fair play, fair play. There's your inspiration, I guess, James. Forget Matt. He's told you to leave. We've got Andrew who's fighting your corner. Matt, just like, mask off at this point. Who do you genuinely believe will be the biggest success, Donnarumma or Trafford?
I think it will be Donnarumma. Only because I don't think Trafford's now going to have the opportunity. I just genuinely can't see it unless we see Donnarumma get a really bad injury and Trafford just takes his chance by a scruff of the neck. And I don't think it helps him. Don't get me wrong, I think he's been pretty good so far this season. I don't think it helps him, that mistake against Tottenham. I don't think that helps his case at all for a lot of people, I think that's going to stick in a lot of people's minds. But yeah, I just think, as well, for Trafford's sake, he's going to have aspirations to being on number one. I think he's going to get twitchy himself on the bench. I think he's probably going to, if we're in the position where Donnarumma is clearly on number one, even going into next season, I was going to say the one after, but even next season, surely he's going to be wanting to look elsewhere for game time.
Andrew, we've not seen Donnarumma play a match for City yet, so we don't know how it's going to go. And there's every chance he comes in and he's sort of, I doubt it, but Claudio Bravo levels of disaster, because, Edison was one of a kind, and you change your goalkeeper. It happens. It does. It happens. I doubt it. I think Donnarumma's going to be a great success. I'm actually excited to have him at City, but I genuinely don't think this is endgame for James Trafford. I think you have to look back at, I know the guys did a great job in midweek, so we won't spend too long on this, but you look back at the transfer saga itself. City, by all accounts, waited until literally the 11th hour to Paul's sort of, match Newcastle's bid. Does that tell you that they were necessarily 100% sold on him off the bat? Maybe not. That felt just as much a market opportunity as signing Donnarumma for 25-30 million did. Being said, Donnarumma, like you argued so perfectly, has in the past been a bit of, 3-4 years here or there, move on. Maybe that would be too long for James Trafford. But I think, I genuinely, I don't know if this is just complete delusion, but I think there is certainly a chance in 2 years' time, Donnarumma, City shake the hands with him. They got him for such a cheap price. They're probably never going to get less than that. Donnarumma will still be under 30 in a couple of years' time if they want to move on. I think there's a chance that maybe James Trafford could still have a successful career at City.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, for me, I think the way you guarantee Trafford has a successful career is you don't put the pressure of an elite club starting keeper on him at 22 years old. I think he still gets plenty of time to develop. I think there's plenty of opportunities, but also he's now going to be working and learning from who you can't argue he's not a top 3 keeper in the world. He may be the best keeper in the world, but either way, that is someone who can teach Trafford a lot and ensure that he is not destroyed by a season where he makes 2 or 3 more Tottenham level mistakes. And, the fan base turns on him. And we see it all the time. Players get put in a position, it's not really their fault, but if the team starts to struggle, their career just kind of gets derailed. And I don't want that to happen for him. So I would rather have a slightly safer pair of hands, especially because it seems like not all the kinks are worked out yet, and let Trafford have more time to develop, and we'll give him more of a shot at making some mistakes and being forgiving of that when he is not the Premier League and Champions League keeper.
Certainly. Well, that's a nice way to end part 1. Join us after this quick break where we will have more indefensible, some might say, topics to defend. Welcome back to the City Ramble, making sure you are subscribing wherever you're watching or listening to this show. Plenty of build-up ahead of that match on Sunday. I'm sure you know which one we mean. We're having a bit of fun, though, to kickstart the week. Hopefully it's going to be a very happy week for Manchester City. Matt, you're going to defend this. Andrew, you're going to argue against it. So, Andrew, you're up first. Manchester City should see the light and sell Rodri at the earliest possible opportunity. £100 million for him would be good business, and City should look to reinvest elsewhere. Why is that not factual, or shouldn't be the case, Andrew? Off you pop.
We're talking about a player who really, more than any player in City's recent history, has been the talisman of success. What was it, an entire year that City played, where if Rodri played, we did not lose? He is the first City player to win the Ballon d'Or. He is the definition of captain material. He is everything that Pep Guardiola wants in a player. And if he is everything that Pep Guardiola wants in a player, I don't care who the manager is, that man you should let walk out of your club. He is one of the few players that is truly generational, like defining talent, to where whatever it costs to keep him, whatever it costs to acquire him, you pay that money. And so we've already got him. In what world would we let him go? Not to a league where he won't compete with us, but he will be going to someone who will stop us at the highest competition.
Nice. I'm sure. To be fair, Matt, I think you've actually been dealt a pretty grim hand here. You've had some rather difficult ones to defend and also sort of argue against. But you've got a minute to tell me why actually Man City should be selling Rodri, cashing in, get that £100 million off Real Madrid, and reinvest it elsewhere.
Not a problem, and I don't think it's difficult at all, because listen, we're talking about a 29-year-old. He's coming towards the end of his career. He's just had a very, very bad injury, and let's be honest, since he's come back, he's looked leggy. He's looked miles off it. 100 million for Rodri, I'd snap your hand off right now, honestly. And we've got Nico Gonzalez ready to step in. We've got a ready-made heir to the throne. Bring him in, and as well, we've got to say, since Rodri's been Ballon d'Or winner and everything, we've become a bit of a one-man team. I think if you get rid of him, we become a team again, and then we're going to win more titles. Mic drop.
Plodry? Is that what you're saying?
Hey?
Are you saying Plodry? Is that your new... Are we bringing that back?
Yeah, he's wearing Timberlands when he's running at the minute.
How much would you sell him for, Matt? Hypothetically, what would you accept? Because I'm sure you'd accept something.
Am I being honest now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can be truthful.
200 million.
200 mil? And who would
I was going to say, I'd need a
Kylian.
I would need a Neymar to PSG level. Like, I need world record fee.
Yeah.
Well, what I get is, what's the world? I don't even know what the world record
is.
Isn't it like 220? I think that was euros though. So like probably 200 million pounds. Thereabouts.
Neymar to PSG was that PSG. Still?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't think anyone's.
Yeah, £200 million in 2017, which is like astonishing.
Also, if you follow the money of that deal, it is cursed. They bought Coutinho and
Dembele was it as well?
Dembele with it.
Yeah.
And but then the clubs that got the money, it just almost no one who touched anything to do with that transfer did it work out for.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers. No, I don't feel like getting cancelled today, so I'm gonna keep.
I will say, I think we all are being a little skeptical of a point that Matt did make in there, which is he did blow out his knee at 28. Like that.
Yeah.
It's would not I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm just saying we may not see the treble season Rodri again. That doesn't mean he won't be good. Yeah. It just
and it's worth noting them levels were out of this world. A par or two down from that is still a world class player. You know what I mean? So I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, totally. Obviously he's in contract talks right now. Final question before we move on to round 4, Matt. when do you think he leaves City? What is he? 2027? His summer 2027. His contract runs out, I think. I mean, at the moment, that could be the end date. You assume an extension gets penned. I think it was 5 years, so that would take him through to 2031 maybe, because the 5 years would be from now. I don't know. When do you think Rodri will leave City?
I don't know, because I can see him, if he gets this new deal, staying till he's like 30, what would he be? Like 33 or something? Like, but at the same time, he does come across like a very aspirational guy. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did go back to play in Spain, whether that's Real Madrid or not. I don't know. Maybe when he gets to like his mid-30s, he wants to go back to Villarreal or something, because didn't he start his career there? I can see that happening. I'm going to say 2029, Rodri leaves.
2029.
Couple years from now, but not,
I think he finishes his serious playing career with City. I think he may leave to go somewhere else. I just don't know where that is, but I think probably 2029, 2030s, they're probably about the mark. But I could see him doing something very similar to Pep, where he spends the last couple years like going to play places solely to learn, because it's so obvious that he is going to have a role in the like management or business side of the game. And so
he said, I'm pretty sure he said in an interview this weekend that he sees his immediate future away from football for a bit. I can't remember if that was a verifiable quote. It was one of those stupid sort of aggregators who you don't know if they're real or not, and it could very well have just been completely made up. So heaps of salt with that one, but it took me by surprise, because it feels like he has said quite a lot of time that he wants to go into in fact, my ideal sort of timeline for him would be similar, sort of 2029, early to sort of mid 30s, I guess. 32, 33, something like that. Maybe have a few. I doubt he'd be starting the majority of matches by then. Sort of fades him out. Maybe a couple of years abroad, and then maybe even take over from Hugo Viana as City's sporting director. I don't know. Maybe you'd need to learn the ropes somewhere else first. Who knows? But let's not think about that. Let's instead think about this, a nasty, what would have been a nasty turn of events, because Andrew, you're about to defend this. Matt, you're going to have the much easier job. This is the first time I think you can put your feet up in today's show, because it is Manchester City would be in a better position right now if they hadn't won the treble. Winning the treble in 2023 was the worst thing to happen to City in the short, medium, and get this, long term. Off you go.
Oh, is it me first? Yeah. I've had a stinker there. Sorry. Right, the treble. It's the pinnacle of football. There's a reason it's only been done once. And, ours was better, as we know, because we beat Man United in the FA Cup final. We beat them along the way. Probably for Manchester City fans, it's going to be their best memory ever supporting their club, and probably will be the case. We'll look back 20, 30, 40 years' time at that night in Istanbul and go, wow, my club did that. Manchester City did that. And yeah, it was just incredible. The players we had, we had a mixture of world-class talent, Haaland, Rodri. We had Foden in the squad, an academy player. How special is that to have them a part of it as well? And with the best manager in the world. So for me, it doesn't get any better. And it's only put us on a course for bigger and greater things. And hopefully we're going to continue to smash it.
Continue to ban the locals as well, as you said at the top of the show. Get the selfie sticks in. Andrew, winning the treble was the worst thing to happen to Man City. You want to, if you can, strip every City fan of those memories of June 10th, 2023, that magical night in Istanbul, a week earlier, the FA Cup final against United, that Arsenal game at the Etihad, all of those fantastic memories from the 22-23 season. We need to banish them. It was the worst thing to happen to City. Why is that?
Well, first of all, since winning the treble, we have seen a ongoing and increasingly problematic lack of desire and ambition on the pitch. that I think stems from the fact that when we won the treble, Pep Guardiola kind of locked in sentimentality about a bunch of players that he should not have sentimentality for. And we've lost hunger that I think is a problem. And now that's just short and maybe medium term issues. The long term issue is that Manchester City is a club that has been defined by not being a tourist laden trophy trap that bangs on about how special of a club they are to get in tourists. And the treble has cemented that City have become the very thing they reviled, that they are now a corporatized merchandise hell that is all about selling an experience and not being a football club. We are now Frankenstein.
Bravo!
That was brilliant. That
was spectacular. It just kept.
I'm only like half kidding about that, by the way. Like
I could tell. This is what I was going to say. The best part about it was I didn't know what blurred lines between sort of truth and fiction were sort of coming out there. I think, on the playing side of things, I don't know, but I can see why people make the argument that in the sort of 18 months afterwards, because it wasn't until Jan 2025 that, City went, shit, we've messed up here with the rebuild, with the sort of sentimentality of players, Kyle Walker's contract, aging players on big wages, that maybe that little bit of hunger, complacency, although they did win a 4th Premier League title in a row the season after, which I do feel like kind of gets missed when people speak about the club standing still. I don't know if you can stand still and still win a league title regardless. How much of that do you think sort of played into the 2023 victories, sort of how much of that was influenced by it?
Yeah, I mean, there was so many players in that squad that had experienced, especially with the Champions League, like the disappointments, the heartbreak. I'm not even going to name them, but you think of like Lyon, Spurs, all them nights where there's so many of them players that was still a part of that squad when it came to Istanbul, and it just made it that extra little bit special. I didn't even mention Porto, the final there. That's another one. And I think when a lot of players reach the top like that, I'll use Jack Grealish as an example. I think he's one of them that then probably struggled to motivate himself to go again, because he's done it. He's tick, tick, tick. But I think we'll only really see if the motivation and the hunger was the problem, say last year, maybe in the next 12 months, next 2 years, because now we've got a completely new squad, really. And a lot of them probably haven't won the Champions League, barred Donnarumma, barred the guys that have been at City for the treble. So I suppose only then we'll see how much the hunger, like how important that was that they maybe lost. But you make a good point. They did win the league the year after, so there must have been something still there. But I think, going back to what I said last season, there's a lot of players that you look at and go, yeah, you've checked out now. You've completed it, and that's fair enough. On to the next group.
Yeah. Speaking of hunger and desire, it leads us nicely onto round 5, where Matt, perhaps the hardest defend the Indefensible for today. It's as follows. You've got, obviously, Andrew's going to go first. He's going to tell us why this isn't the case. I feel like Andrew's had a really lovely, easy ride of things here, and I'm sure it won't be hard to argue against this one. But the statement is as follows. Pep Guardiola is yesterday's news. It's time for him to leave Manchester City at the end of the season. His time with the club should be over come the summer. Andrew,
hey Matt, do you want to pull an audible and switch? Because I'll take this one.
No, you know what? I can do this, I think.
Give the people what they want. Matt, you can set out the sort of the 60 seconds or so whilst Andrew's going. Andrew, I mean, you can tell us if you think that's the case. You can let the what's the Simpsons meme where they've all got like the pitchforks and the fire lanterns in the hand. You can let them come for you if you want, but I'm assuming you want a sensible, quiet life, so you can tell us why that isn't the case.
Pep Guardiola is undoubtedly one of the most influential managers, if not the most influential manager in history of the game. Not only that, he is clearly and indisputably City's greatest ever manager. He has given this club and its fans moments that will not just last a lifetime for the fans, but will echo throughout history. He has ensured that regardless of what comes next, Manchester City will be one of the biggest, most influential clubs in the world. And yes, he's had some problems in the last 18 months, but the reality is that is not the type of manager that you tell him when it's time to go. He lets you know when he feels it's time to walk away, and he has earned that right.
A nice little appetizer for the main dish, which has been with a little silver platter delivered nicely to our table. You can smell the aromas. You lift it up, and there is a little Matt Kerr about to tell us why Pep Guardiola, at the end of this season, should be leaving Manchester City.
Okay, sorry, Pep. Well, where do I start? I mean, I've got to go to that FA Cup final loss, right? We're losing to Crystal Palace, by the way. Embarrassing. The old Pep would never, in a big final like that. We need a match-winning sub. Who's he bring on? Claudio Echeverri, a lad that's never played for City. Oh yeah, that'll do it, Pep. That'll do it. What happened? We lost. Embarrassing. What else did he do last season? Oh, not got a right back. Let's put Mateus Nunes there. Embarrassing. You know, the handling of some players, it's just been absolutely shocking. Last season, it was just an absolute train wreck, and it looks like it's carrying on this season. Last week, lost to Brighton. In the Centurions year, we would have demolished them 6-0, and look at him now, scratching his head, going grey. He's finished. Get in someone else. Anyone. I'll take anyone. He's done. Put him in a retirement home. Sorry, Pep.
Oh, MCFC TV taking after the likes of Ty and
Arsenal,
Robbie. Yeah.
I've even got the headphones as well. I've got the tie.
Get him out! Get him out!
It's time to go. That was.
It's
that
an
was
embarrassment.
Class. Yeah.
Oh, that hurt so much. That hurt more than any of them.
I could see you getting into it. You know, the string of embarrassing.
You know what? The one that I'm like, I still to this day will never understand was the Echeverri sub in the FA Cup.
I don't think my head has returned from what Galaxy. I mean, being in.
Amos' reaction to that is like that's what sticks in my memory.
Yeah, because I must have sent it on one group chat or other. Obviously, being in the stadium. I don't usually go on my phone during big matches or, most matches at all, but I rushed the group chat, and it must have been before it even sort of popped up on TV screens, and just a string of like question marks, what, and then obviously it comes through, and I mean the bench had like Grealish on it, obviously Foden came off the bench at that point, I think anyway. It wasn't the obvious ploy that you had James McAtee and Rico left. My head. A different solar system, different galaxy, different universe, and I'm not sure it will ever return. But hey, we let him off. We can find ourselves. We can find it in us to forgive him. But that was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. It's nice to sort of be the puppet master and just sort of say dance for me. But I am curious. Good sports.
I am curious though for the two of you. If you had sole ability to renew or not renew Pep's contract,
Andrew,
would you renew it?
Lifetime.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to. And this is so weird. His face has just popped up on my TV screen. What the fuck?
Is he at the Open?
Yeah.
What?
So for the clarity, we're recording this. The US Open is being played, US Open final, and as you say that, not that I had a flicker of doubt, Mr. Pep, the all watching, the omniscient. Yeah. What in the George Orwell was that? His face just popped up. That was mad.
Pep's appeared in the City Ramble. He's made his debut on the City Ramble.
There you go. Obviously, the answer is no. I would continue it forever. But my hunch is that in the next 18 months we will be saying au revoir.
I think this is his last season. I think he signed a 2-year
as well. Yeah.
I think he signed a 2-year so that we don't get questions about his contract renewal this season. This takes him to a full decade at the club.
Yeah,
it makes a
lot of
sense, doesn't it?
Ironically, I think there's a catch-22 here because I think if City a disaster, he's probably more inclined to stay on. You know, if the new guys that come in and they don't play particularly well, and it's another scratch or a scramble to get top four, or even maybe if they completely bomb out and don't get top four, then you might be like, okay, a new guy, it's time to come in. But I think if there's a solid season, you know, a trophy win would be perfect. Ideally in Budapest. In Budapest on the banks of the Danube, that would be beautiful. But I think if it's a trophy win, or even if it's just like a second or third place, but with comfortable and room to spare, I think, you know, he does sail away in the sunset.
Got to say as well, I think it. I hate to bring it up, but I think it does depend on how the whole 1-1-5 thing goes as well.
Perhaps, yeah.
You know, because like you allude to, you know, if we have a tough season, he's more likely to stay. If we end up in League Two, boy oh boy, he's staying until we return right to the top. I'm sure he is, because he's that type of guy. He's so
you can't have your legacy burned like that if you're a man.
I mean, he's like that. Literally, he's the meme of the. I asked my landlord to increase my rent, so I grind harder. Like
yeah. He's probably sort of testifying against City. He's the one saying that those secret payments actually exist, allegedly. Obviously, allegedly. we are not sort of insinuating anything of the such. Cool. Before we get ourselves in trouble off after George Orwell's Guardiolaism sort of popping through my TV screen, and also from any lawyers, we will say a good and very much a thank you to Matt and Andrew. Matt, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Andrew, thank you very much.
Happy to be here as always, Amos.
Legend. And listeners, a massive thank you to you guys. We'll be back on Wednesday. Of course, it is international break, so no daily schedule for now, but we'll be turning attention to that match on Sunday. Until then, we'll see you later.